Yo YouTube, it's 12Tails15 here, and I'm here with my friend Jared. We just opened a gold series recently, and now we're doing a deck profile of his macro monarch deck, which is pretty cool and awesome. He'll explain. So yeah.
Alright, so this is my macro monarch deck. I like macro monarchs, so I'll just get into it. The monarchs are 3 Caius and 2 Ryza. In my opinion, still really the best monarch combination unless you're running frogs, which the Stalos is really good at frogs. The Stalos just doesn't really work in this. I tried it. So 5 monarchs. Your DD cards are 3 survivors and a DD scout plane. I think it works really well like this, because I think other than that, 2 scout planes is overdoing it for me, because then it's you end up filling your field with a bunch of 800 attack monsters that come back in attack mode, which kind of sucks. And the survivors are just works for me. I don't think you need more. 3 cyber valleys for draw power. It's good. Oh, I should. Yeah. The DD Assailant. I think he's a really good tech card. I could go Warrior Lady, but I like the Assailant a lot better just because the extra 200 attack plus forcing your opponent to you can force people to make some plays. Blackwing players might you can either they can't collude over you because you'll still remove them from play, so it kind of sucks for them. And I really like the tech. 2 Krebens for tuning power. 2 Cyber Dragons. I really like the Cyber Dragon. Instant tribute fodder when you need it, and it also, well, you'll see later, but it works really well.
Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm gonna take them back. Gold rare, and this is a super first edition from Cybernetic Revolution. Just want to let you know.
Here's kind of the 2 stall cards in the deck. Battle Fader is sometimes I get just a hand that I can't do anything with, or Battle Fader just comes in really handy because he's really good for monarchs. And Spirit Reaper is just sometimes you just need a monster to stay on your field. So these are just really helpful at keeping the stall going. And finally, Necroface. I really like Necroface as an interrupt card, and I think he works out really well. Usually you go for Gold Sark if you get it early in the game. The milling doesn't hurt the deck at all unless you mill Return from a Different Dimension, so he's a really useful tech card in here. Takes a lot of people by surprise, actually. As far as spells go, I got 3D Fissure. I really like the 3D Fissure. It works a lot better over Macrocosmos just because of the instant, just immediate play it, get stuff removed from play, which I really like. Brain and Mind. Brain's an obvious, just sacktastic card. Usually, though, I use them both for pretty much the same purpose, which is Cyber Valley removal or occasional tuning. So they work both really well for me. The back row removal, MST and Heavy Storm, really obvious. And actually, Heavy Storm isn't always hurt the deck, so I can sometimes even side it out, depending on what kind of deck I'm playing. Rhoda, I'm running the 4 warriors are all searchable, and they're all really useful to search for. E-Teleport for the Krebens for getting out the tuning for the synchros instantly. Allure because there's a shit ton of darks. Gold Sark. Usually you go for Necroface if he's not in the deck or it's late game. Oftentimes go for a Caius just to not draw it, or Return, especially Return late game. 1 Macrocosmos. 4 I think is really enough removal power. I just like it. I think Macrocosmos is pretty slow, and the 3D Fissures really works better than 2 Macro to 2D Fissure. The Protection Traps, I call this a Protection Trap because obviously it's very versatile, but it's just another card I set just in case to stop that Heavy Storm. Starlight and 2 Dark Bribes. Mirror Force. It's Mirror Force. Torrential, Bottomless, and Bottomless. I really like the way it works out, and just keep your opponent from summoning because it's pretty animated. And finally, Return, because it's probably a more common win condition than anything else I use. So, you know, I mean, like, I use Return more often than I actually use Monarchs, probably. So, I mean, comparatively to win, I mean. So, then we'll go...
Extra deck. Yeah.
Extra deck.
This is extra deck.
5 stars, my Catastrophe. Goyo, Brio, and Tempest. I can't summon Tempest, but it's one of my favorite synchros, and I really like it, so I go for it. I just like having it around. And this is 15 cards, but I wouldn't have 15 cards if I only use cards that I like could actually use, so whatever. My 7 stars, he's not summonable, and he's not summonable. Oh, there's another one. But I keep them in there. I love Arcanite Magician. So, as would be obvious, these are the 2 I actually go for. The 8 stars, I love Dark Paladin. So 2 Stardust. Stardust usually only shows up through Starlight Road, actually, but that doesn't hurt it because Starlight Road, you know, you can't special summon it with its effect, but it doesn't really matter because it gets removed from play anyways. So it's actually no less useful than any of your opponent's Stardust Dragon would be if you properly summoned it. Plus, 8 stars can easily come out just because Monarchs are 6, and it's an easy number. Yeah. And finally, Mistworm. Comes out more often than you think. Usually it's like DD Survivor, Krebins, Spirit Reaper, you know, and even though there's only 1 3-star in the deck, it works out, so I like it. And my side deck is not the best tested side deck in the world, but I still like it. 2 Force Backs. I only have 1 Pulling the Rug, so I really like Force Back. And I like Force Back anyways. I think it's a really viable side deck card. 2 Noblemans for Rykos, Hamsters, cards that are actually seeing less play now, but, well, Rykos not. Trunade. I don't think I'm actually going to keep it in here because I never use it, but it's giant Trunade, so it's good to have. Pulling the Rug. Divine Wrath. It's actually probably one of the cards I'll use more often. Kaiku for like Infernities and stuff, so even if they can get like even if I like won the first game and they like first turn get some monsters in the graveyard, I can always just punch to get those necromant or the shit out Archfiends out of the graveyard. 2 Jujitsu Masters, useful. Glads are the obvious thing, but they're just really useful side deck cards in general. 3rd Ryza, Vortex, 2 Power Filters for Frogs. Particularly FTK Frogs, but I've never played against Frog FTK.
What does Power Filter do?
Neither player can special summon monsters with 1,000 or less attack. So, obviously, I couldn't summon a special summon a DD Scout Plane from removed from play, but it's the only card I really have that I could use Frogs because I can't afford Crows right now. They're really hard to get, and so I think it would be useful, but I've never actually played against Frog FTK, so I'm not sure it would work. And finally, a Miravo's. This is coming out because nobody uses shit that summons from well, people do, but it's not nearly as viable, I think, as it was early in the format. So that's my Macro Monarchs. I can't do the whole
That's close enough.
Yeah. So,
yep.
Hope you guys like the build. I think it works out really well for me. Pretty animated and a good, one of the better Macro Monarch decks I've seen around.
So, not rate, but comment and subscribe, like, dislike, whatever. Yeah, improvements for the deck if you know Macro Monarchs or anything. But yeah, that's it. Peace, YouTube.